It is an election night unlike any other. Small crowds at the polls and record absentee ballots in the middle of a pandemic.
And our crews are spread out tonight, bringing you live coverage and analysis that you won't see anywhere else.
Let's get straight to the biggest race of the night, the Republican primary in Michigan's 3rd congressional district. This is the battle to replace Justin Amash. Within the past 30 minutes, Peter Meijer declared victory in this race, and you can see he has a significant lead of Lynn Affendulis.
And News 8's Lindsay McComo live at Meijer campaign headquarters with what the candidate had to say on stage just moments ago. Lindsay.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It's that sizable lead that we're seeing come in from the precincts right now based on reporting that had Peter saying that he is confident to declare victory here tonight, just wrapping up that speech for his supporters who are here at Tanglefoot in Grand Rapids, and addressing them, saying that he's confident going into November, and addressing them and saying that he appreciates their support and getting back to conservative values and leadership. Here's a clip from that.
But what I'm also really proud of is the fact that we wanted to do something a little different in our campaign, right? We wanted to make this, in the spirit of Jerry Ford, in the spirit of Paul Henry, in the spirit of Vern Ehlers, focusing on the community. Because I think way too often everything gets nationalized, everything in our politics becomes binary. And I'm a firm believer that the conservative values that we share, belief in the principles of limited government, of economic freedom, of individual liberty, you look at everything that's strong in this country, and those are the values that underpin them.
With the Meijer campaign declaring victory here tonight, the focus now moves to November and taking on Hillary Skolton, who ran unopposed for the Democratic nomination for the 3rd Congressional District. We just touched base with her as well a few moments ago in hearing from her about what she's looking forward to in what this race really will have a ton of eyes on for Michigan and even beyond.
We have taken this from a grassroots effort, a few small individuals gathered in a city park a year ago, to a nationally recognized $1 million campaign that is ready to make history here by electing the first Democrat in decades and the first woman ever to represent this district.
We're also hoping to speak one-on-one with Peter tonight before this event wraps up. He is still addressing supporters who came out here tonight to support him as he declared victory for the Republican nomination. If we do have that conversation with him, we'll bring that to you at woodtv.com as well as on Daybreak beginning at 4:30. Reporting live in Grand Rapids, Lindsay McComo, News 8.
Live report.
Now to the big wall, and political reporter Rick Albin. Rick, a lot of results coming in tonight.
Yeah, a lot more than I would have expected given all of the absentees and all of the concerns they had about that. We're not out of the woods, and we still have some of these that we can't call, but let's go right back to that 3rd district. The 3rd district that Lindsay was just talking about, and here you can see with 73% of the precincts reporting, Peter Meijer remains with a very comfortable lead, but you still have to take into effect the rest of those precincts out there. So this has not been called by the AP and certainly not by us. Let's go over to the 6th. We're going to hear more about that in just a bit. 60-40 with 66 reporting with incumbent Fred Upton over Alana Oki. And in the 6th district, the Democratic primary on the other side, right now, Jen Richardson leading John Hoadley with 67% of the precincts reporting, 54-46. We believe some of those precincts not reporting are from the city of Kalamazoo. We don't know what that'll do to the outcome of that election, but it's one we're going to continue to watch very closely. I want to come over and look at some of the state house races. We'll skip this one for just now and come back to it. In the 73rd, the AP has called Brian Postumus the winner over his other two opponents. This is the seat currently held by Lynn Affendulis, who, as you just saw, is running for the U.S. House. I talked with the presumptive nominee just moments ago.
I decided to run when our governor made it a crime to go out and earn a paycheck. And I believe Lansing needs more leadership from West Michigan that's willing to stand up to her. And we need more experience in business to help make sure that we get Michigan back to work.
That's the 73rd in Kent County, the 70th in Montcalm and part of Gratiot County. Not called yet, 58% reporting. Pat Outman at 55% there. Down in Kalamazoo, on the Democratic side in the 60th, Stephanie Moore with 76% reporting, comfortable lead over Julie Rogers. And in the 61st, this is a GOP or a Republican primary, and there, Bronwyn Haltom at 68% to Tom Graham's 32, only 53% reporting. Some of these others up here we will get to later, but a quick note about this. We may have come to that stalling point. I know we're going to hear more about that a little bit more. So keeping in mind that if there's not a red check, these races aren't over. Some of them are getting very close to being it, but right now we're going to keep an eye on these, and as the night and perhaps morning progresses, we'll get more of those absentee votes counted. But this is kind of what Joe's been talking about all day long, is that this just might not all happen like it normally does, what we've come to expect from elections. Susan and Brian.
Oh, exactly. Yes, unprecedented, these absentee ballots. We want to turn to News 8's Joe LaFurgey, who's been tracking the process of counting this record-breaking amount of absentee ballots tonight.
And he's live tonight with the Kent County Clerk. Joe?
Yeah, and Rick used the word stall point, and that's probably a good description for what's sort of happened throughout the evening. We were here at the Kent County Clerk's office. Kent County Clerk Lisa Possumus-Lyons joins us right now. Lisa, where are you at right now in that kind of trickle of votes coming in?
Sure. We are at about a 56% precincts results reported in, and that puts us at about a 14.5% total voter turnout, which is almost right about the turnout that we had in August of 2016. We had a 30% total voter turnout in August of 2018. So we'll see where we end up when all those results come in. We do have most of our election day in precinct votes tabulated and transmitted and reported. We do have a few outstanding yet, but the city of Grand Rapids has reported all of their in-precinct election day votes. So now for Grand Rapids, we continue to just wait for absentee ballots. We have, in addition to the 4 jurisdictions that we were able to report, have fully reported all their results. That was Cannon, East Grand Rapids, Granville, and Lowell Township. We have 4 more that are 100% fully reported. So we continue to move forward. It's Algoma, Bound Township, Oakfield Township, and Rockford. So again, you'll see kind of these smaller, more rural or less populated areas that have been able to finalize counting all those absentee ballots, and we've been able to report those results.
But it's those more populated areas, and you were talking to me a few minutes ago. That's why you have cots set up essentially in back, because nobody's really going to get a break tonight. Maybe a few-minute cat nap, but that's about it.
Sure. I mean, this is election night here at the county. A lot of the work for us, it begins before the election and it picks back up after the polls close. So we expect to be here. I don't expect results to be fully all in until well into the day tomorrow. I'm hoping we can. Beat those expectations, but we've been here in 2018 for August. We were here till 6 o'clock in the morning getting those results, and the just sheer volume of absentee ballots that we've had this election has really, played a factor into when we can expect this. So we just continue to reiterate that things are going very, very smoothly tonight. We have great confidence that everything is going well and the election is safe and secure and fair. And we just continue to ask for patience as we count those votes.
Okay, thanks again, Lisa, for joining us, and stay tuned. That's the best advice from here tonight. Back to you.
Yeah.
Yep, they're in for the long haul. Joe, thank you. Earlier, Rick was sharing some numbers moments ago about the 6th Congressional District.
That's right. News 8's Kyle Mitchell has been talking to the candidates, and he joins us now live. Kyle?
Yeah, Brian, initial results still showing a very tight race in the Democratic primary. Jen Richardson and John Holdley within a few percentage points for much of the night, but we know there are still thousands of absentee ballots that have not been counted. I talked with Holdley just moments ago. He says he wants to continue watching these results before doing any interviews. On the Republican side, incumbent Fred Upton is ahead of Elena Olicki. Upton has held the West Michigan seat for more than 30 years. It's still too early to call this race. We spoke to Congressman Upton just a short time ago.
We know that the results are going to be a little bit slow. A big volume in absentee. I voted absentee. So did my wife. So did my parents. There's actually a likelihood that we were going to be in session this week in the House. It didn't happen, so I'm here at home. But, you know, it looks like we still have a big increase in terms of the number of people that are voted. I've always thought that was a good sign. And we're anxious to see, you know, what the final numbers are. But we like the early results that are in.
The candidates in this race expecting this to take a bit more time, yet remaining patient tonight. We're live in the Kalamazoo studio. Kyle Mitchell, News 8.
Okay, Kyle, thank you for the latest results there. We do want to get some other results for you on your ballot, starting with some school millages. The results continuing to come in tonight in Jenison, a $61 million bond, 99% of the precincts reporting. This measure has passed, 65% yes to the 35% no. West Ottawa voters deciding on a $13 million bond tonight. 80% of the precincts reporting in the West Ottawa schools. This renewal, 68% here saying yes, they do approve of this measure. No, 32% against it. And in Cedar Springs, voters deciding on a $68 million bond after a larger proposal failed in November. Here's what they decided tonight. Now, just 55% of the precincts reporting here in Cedar Springs schools. And it is yes, 53%, no, 47%, a little bit closer in that contest.
One other race of interest that we wanted to get you updated on, longtime St. Joseph County prosecutor John McDonough trying to keep his job. This after a drunk driving arrest and an investigation into that. McDonough, though, losing tonight. He's got his work cut out for him. 28% of the precincts in. He is down roughly 3,000 votes. We have hundreds of results coming into woodtv.com right now. We invite you to click on the elections results link at the top of the homepage. We'll have live team coverage tomorrow morning on Daybreak.